viewpoints and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest TV. I'm your host, Wes Forsyth, and today's broadcast date is July 19th, 2024. And somebody did the math today, and it's just depressing how close we are to Scarefest 16, Scarefest 2024. So tonight, I've got Barb co-hosting with me. Welcome again, Barb.
Hello.
Go ahead and pull us both up.
Why does it say Barbara Ann? Were you trying to be funny?
I don't know. I just typed it out. Yeah, it's supposed to be Jane, ain't it? I don't know.
You were singing the song Barbara Ann.
Actually, I started to do that. I said, that's just like the song. But that's not your name, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, so I will not bother fixing that in post. It's too much trouble. Okay, now, everybody, the rumors are true because I said them like an hour ago. Well, hold up on me. 5 or 5. 5 celebrity, well, we'll call one of them celebrity. And then okay. We have 5 good announcements tonight. Good announcements. A couple of them won't be big surprises, but 3 that you've been asking for in the fan group. And of course, Joe is coming on tonight with Maxine, his review of Maxine. And it occurs to me that doing this, he's getting to watch a lot of movies lately.
Yes.
So I hope he appreciates me.
I think he's been busy.
I hope he appreciates me. Okay, now, what we're doing tonight, everybody, we do this every year at some point. We're going to try to do it with a little style tonight. I don't remember, how did we do that last year? We're doing speaker announcements. Now, speakers, of course, have been announced. They're on the website, but we haven't done a public push on them to get the banners out there to show everybody what they're talking about. And to be honest with you, from my observations in the fan group and on the Scarefest Facebook page, you guys don't look at the website anyway. So I'm bringing it to you. I'm with what is a good.
You're doing the homework for everyone, right?
There, okay, yeah. I was looking for some type of colloquialism to use to say it. Silver platter. There you go. That's the kind of thing I was looking for. I'm bringing it to you on a silver platter. So we're going to go ahead and get started now. Go ahead. Let's talk about our first one. Our first our first speaker announcement is Shay Smith. She will be kicking things off Friday.
Yes. So Shay Smith, I was just looking at this earlier, so it says, this psychic life, recognizing, growing, and protecting your spiritual gifts. So she's basically doing a seminar. She's discussing her personal experiences as a psychic growing up. So if you yourself have felt like you have intuitive gifts and you're looking into tapping into that, this could be the perfect way to start your time at Scarefest. Because it sounds like she's bringing a lot to the table there. And
I'm only going to give her an endorsement in the middle of this. I've only ever had, I think, one reading from her. That's all that comes to mind. But she was freakishly accurate, as in something, she knew something in the reading that literally 3 people in the United States of America, well, 4 counting my mom. So, I mean, like 4 people in the country knew that I had done, and her reading pulled it out. So.
That is really cool.
You may continue.
So now I had a question for you, Wes, since I'm kind of new at this as well. It's like I told you before we started recording, is last year I was really focused on the celebrity panels, but this year I'm drawn to some of these as well. Now, for guests that are speakers there, do they also have a table typically that people can go up and meet them throughout the weekend?
About half and half.
Okay.
Some of them do. We're going to have one table. Our plan is to have one table right outside the speaker room so that after they speak, they can sit there if they're selling. Now, Shay, I believe, does have a table on the second floor where she'll be able to do psychic readings from her table.
Nice. Okay.
But not all of our speakers do have tables. That being said, actually, and to give him credit, Dave Schrader gave me the idea. He said, if you will give your people that do seminars and have something to sell, like a book, like he has a book, he says, set up a table where that's the first thing they can do is go outside and sell signed copies of whatever. And I said, that sounds like a really good idea. So we will have one table specifically right outside the door. The plans are to let people be able to go ahead and find the ones that don't have a booth.
Oh, that's nice, because then they can have access to these people that they were just heard this like awesome seminar from, so they get a chance to meet them and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, good.
All right. On to 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. on Friday, Introduction to Cosplay Prosthetics with Rob Whelan.
Yes. So Rob was actually here last year as well, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
So, and I think I want to say his class was full or near full. Something.
Near full. I know he that's one, and that's something I'm going to, of course, it's on the bottom of the description. Tell everybody what he's doing, but don't miss that bottom line there, if you don't have it printed, about the photo ops.
Oh, I did not have that on here.
You give the description, I'll read that.
I had shortened it because I didn't know I was reading word for word, but that one I shortened, and it's basically geared towards cosplayers, independent filmmakers. It's very budget friendly. So it's a 2-hour class, and you're going to have a prosthetic that you paint and you can take with you. So prosthetic that I think you'll actually apply it and take it with you too, depending on.
Yeah, usually it's a wound or stuff like that. Now, this is something we're going to point out. He's got 2 different things. Oh, by the way, now he'll be in room 9 on the website. Room 9. We've got 2 rooms this year. We had speaker room right where it was last year, room 2. We've also added room 9, which is over towards photo ops. The reason is we needed the space. Now, if you want to go to his seminar, his class, and you have a photo op that conflicts, don't fret it. He will still let you in. He said, let people know that if they can go get their photo op, pop right in the door.
That's important. I think that would be something that people would freak out about.
Yeah,
I would.
What it is, last year he sold tickets to this, and they sold good. But he had people that bought tickets that didn't show up. And he said, I'll bet they bought the tickets, and then the photo op schedule came out, and they said, I can't do both.
They panicked.
Now,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now he's fixing it where you can do both, and as far as I know, there will be no ticket charges.
Awesome.
So, all right, on to the next one. At 5:30 p.m. on Friday, we're going to have a speaker, Annie Hamilton Eamon, talking about the Battletown Witch and the Battletown Witch Festival.
Yes. So this one, she's the founder of the Battletown Witch Festival in Meade County, Kentucky. So they have a festival around Leah Smock, the Battletown Witch. So they tell the complete and historical accurate story of the last witch that was burned in America. So they also talk about strange lore in and around Meade County. And they have found Viking stones, giant bones, the first people ceremonial sites, UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, and more. So
now I want to say I had not heard. The one reason this got approved is we had not heard of the Battletown Witch. We had no idea who Leah Smock was. I'll confess, I don't even know where Meade County is. Somebody in the chat room,
I don't
tell
either.
me the county seat of Meade County. I know towns. I don't always know counties. But it did look like a really interesting thing. And the festival is the weekend of Halloween, weekend after ours. So that'll be a good push for that. But it does, we thought, I didn't know there were any witch legends around here. I had no idea.
as one more for Kentucky.
Yes. we burned the last witch. You're welcome. Brandenburg. I know what it is. Yeah, that's okay, now I did probably. I'll get 8 emails now. Anyway, moving on. Catherine Hale Stringfield speaking about the Mary Luck Tales, a witch's curse. We're getting a theme going.
So she's an author, so I'm guessing she might have a book or more books, maybe several. And so she discusses the years of research she did in order to write her novel. She unearthed a treasure trove of information on the Appalachian Mountains and the rich heritage of superstition, folklore, medicines, burial rites, and the belief of witches, haunts, and all sorts of spooks. She will discuss the early settlers who came to America to flee from religious persecution and the witchfinder general, only to be once again shunned and sought out only for medical help or more nefarious reasons like spells or curses. She will in turn relate this to today's horror, which I think is kind of cool, and how that even in this digital world, we still rely on pagan rituals, granny witches, folklore, and urban legends to put chills down our spine. Does that not sound cool?
Yes, yeah. Of course, now I understood. I didn't know about the witches. Well, we have talked about the granny witches on the show, so I do understand that about how we didn't even know they were witches. They were just, the old lady that knows how to heal people. So, but there's another one, everybody. That's at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
Room 2. Now at 7:30, this is our headliner for the evening, if you will, and we're just giving him a little extra time. This is Jason McLoud. He's an author, and he's done a video defeating the demonic. Now this one will run closer to 90 minutes, just so you know. It's not just the 45-minute presentation. It's longer. That's why we put it at the end of the night. And I was going to have a video to show you, but he sent me a link on one of those services that expires. And I didn't need it at the time, and I went to download it today. And he's on the road, so I couldn't get the video to show. Might try to show that later in the year. But so tell them about Jason.
It'll be a little perk later, right?
Yeah.
4 real exorcists share their most terrifying cases in a 90-minute lecture and video event that will alter your worldview and change your life forever. Join host Jason McLoud as he showcases the most mind-bending, thought-provoking aspects of the epic 4.5 live event. He hosted and organized.
I think that's 4.5. It's supposed to be 4.5 hours.
Yeah, so there's a missing word.
I just copied and pasted.
4.5 hour live event he hosted and organized last year. Learn how and why diabolical spirits gain access to our lives and how to identify the many devastating aspects of demonic infestation and oppression. Hear real demonic voices recorded during authentic deliverances and exorcisms from leading experts in the field. Oh, yeah. So people who like the movie Exorcism or The Exorcist, they would probably like this.
His topics are always, of course, that's what they're wrapped around, is that whole genre, if you will. But he knows his stuff, and he's got people around him that know his stuff. He works with Bishop Long and some others. I've got it in an email. And we try not to overdo the demonology.
I was wondering because he is the only one I saw on the list. So,
yeah,
if people are interested in it, this is the one you're going to want to see.
Yes. I'll put it this way: if we open the floodgates, that's all people want to talk about because they know it's sexy. But Jason, Jason's an authority on it. We'll give him his spot and take it from there. Okay, we're at a commercial break. Everybody will be right back and starting on. Actually, I have one more for Friday.
One more.
This is a 2024 Scarefest weekend sponsoring vendor. The Bombs makes bath and body products for everyone. Ashley Dobbs makes unique small batch hand-painted bath bombs. Plus, sugar scrubs, whip soaps, and body oils. Find the Bombs on Facebook and at the monthly Central Kentucky Mystical Market in Lexington. Scarefest weekend sponsoring vendors make the event happen. Be sure to tell them that you heard it here on Scarefest TV.
Tuesday's Crypt features deals with talents in the horror community, from mask makers, sculptors, artists, and more. Plus, podcast Live in the Crypt, shooting the shiz with DK and the Swag, and DK and the Bees, Horror Buzz. Visit their website, join their Facebook group, and thank them for being a Scarefest sponsoring vendor.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. We're talking about the seminar speakers this evening for Scarefest 16. Our final one of Friday will be the Toxic Icon Podcast Live. That's at 8 p.m. in the new room, room 9 towards photo ops. Before Barb takes off, I'm going to say we had several podcasters want to podcast, do a live podcast. But when they find out how hard it is to do live, when you're not, you're not sitting at home on your eating Cheetos on your cell phone, and so we had several that, in other words, I think these are the only guys that stuck with it to do it. But we did have several that asked about doing this. We said, well, that'll be a great opportunity. We'll call that the podcast room.
Well, so how did they realize that this was going to be hard? Did you have them try to
You
send
tell them they
something
have to
into
bring.
you?
You tell them they have to bring their own stuff.
Oh, okay. And they're like, oh, never mind. Never mind. All right. So Toxic Icon Podcast. It's a horror-based podcast out of St. Louis, Missouri, comprised of 3 panelists, Nick White, Yurdi G, and Jalen Talley. I hope I've pronounced their names right. This podcast aims to give an in-depth look into what it's like to work in a professional haunted house from an actor's and management point of view, as well as a deep dive into the world of adversity, highs and lows, and how the haunted house world influences creativity beyond the costumes that we wear. This podcast also dives into the world of horror movies, reviews, and extensive coverage of Universal's Halloween Horror Nights event. I've heard good things about that, actually.
I pulled up the link. I don't know why I didn't sit and listen to the podcast. Anyway, Toxic Icon Podcast, popular podcast that will be done live. In other words, you'll be the studio audience for their podcast at 8 p.m. on Friday. Now, jumping to Saturday, after a good night of partying, nothing says, Good Morning USA. Like our first presentation on Saturday, 11:30 a.m., gives everybody time to get in the door. Grave robbing in the 19th century with Alan Searcy.
Yes, so this is a detailed presentation about grave robbing in the 19th century and how the rise of medical colleges led to cemeteries being raided all over the country. So at a time when common laborers made $20 a week, medical schools paid $25 to $40 per body. So you can just imagine. They're like, let me make some cheddar on these dead bodies.
Now, for the record, this one is one that we caught Barb's eye too. I'm trying to get him to. We're trying to do a spoiler. He won't even have to do his presentation. I want him to come on the show. He's got to.
I want him to as well. Yes, I think it'd be a fun one.
He's a busy man, but I want to hear about grave robbing in the 19th century.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I do. I think it's something we haven't talked about on the show before. Now, at 12:30 p.m., Scarefest regular Jeff Ignatowski, he's bringing you Beyond the Headlines, True Crime, Myths, and Legends.
So he's going to do a brief discussion about the impact true crime has had on our cultural mythology, and then there'll be a Q&A on related questions about various true crime cases. And this talk would be related to his book series, Beyond the Headlines. So another one that will probably be outside of the room afterwards to maybe sell and sign the books, maybe?
I'm guessing he would have his own booth.
Oh, maybe.
He usually has a booth.
He would probably be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
He might stop to sign shit, but yeah, he should. He should. I haven't checked. I should have checked the floor plan. But yeah, he's a regular.
Oh, good. Okay. So if somebody's interested, they can maybe go to his booth and have a chit chat.
Yes. Now, for you horror movie fans, at 1:30 p.m. in Meeting Room 2, Real Life Final Girls. 3 women who survived serial killers. Brianna
Yes.
Bright.
So this one was the second one. The grave robbing was the first one that caught my eye. And then this one was the second one that I was like, oh my gosh, I hope she can come on the show and talk a little bit more about this. But so this presentation will focus on the accounts of Lisa McVeigh, Mary Vincent, and Kate Moore, who used trickery, physical prowess, and fortitude to endure and escape from serial killers who had already destroyed several lives. These real-life final girls overcame unimaginable ordeals, survived dismemberment, escaped containment, and faced down doubters to put their assailants behind bars. This one sounds really interesting. I think this one will be popular.
I do too, and because the description alone shows that that's half a presentation right there.
Yes.
Now I'm going to take a quick pause here. I'm going to address something in the chat room. These are the speaker announcements. These are not the guest announcements for Scarefest 2016. Number 16. Scarefest, we have more to do than 40,000 people standing on Stars Row. So I just will let the people in the chat room know that there is more to do at Scarefest than stand in line for Matthew Lillard. Okay?
Yes.
Next. Now we can continue. Yes. Rob Whelan is doing his second one here. Intermediate cosplay prosthetics.
Yeah, so this is another 2-hour class. This would be a small silicone prosthetic, and you must go through the intro class first. So now I was going to ask you, Wes, on this. Can someone literally go through the intro class, and then I don't know how he's going to stagger this, if he's going to have the intro class on maybe Friday and then on Saturday do the more advanced class.
Mm-hmm.
So is it set up to where someone could literally do both classes while they're at this event that weekend?
Well, yeah, if you're there Friday and you're there Saturday, yes.
Yeah, so they can. So if somebody wants 4 hours of learning how to do prosthetics, they really could do that.
Yeah, and remember, he's got 6 hours because it takes, pretty close, because we give him an extra hour. We give him a lot of setup time. In other words, this is detail, people. This is intricate. He brings a lot of stuff in, and then he didn't even ask for it, but I stacked the way I set the schedule. Also give him time to clean the place up when he's done. He didn't have to rush out. But yeah, it was very popular last year, and but we do have more serious cosplayers show up on Saturday. So yeah, we have the intermediate, the more advanced stuff on Saturday, and now it won't be in the same rooms. I don't have the announcement banner or anything. We'll be doing another one Sunday for kids, just to give you a heads up. I don't know a thing about it.
That's really cool.
What time, but he will be doing it.
So is he basically being, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? So he's every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Now this one, and I've seen some of you in the room. I've got witches in the chat room. Real Magic, the Moon, Mirrors, and the Witch's Ladder. 3 Appalachian witches. That is Ashley Connor, Misty Connor, and Pat Boussard O'Keefe. I still have trouble getting the O'Keefe out. I knew her by Pat Boussard for like 100 years, and then one day she shows up married, and I'm like, who the hell is Pat O'Keefe? Anyway, you may go now.
All right. So these ladies will be sharing a knowledge about magic. Their talk is based on their new book, From the Appalachians and Beyond, Moon Magic, Mirror Magic, and the Witch's Ladder. Learning and laughing will take the center stage as these mountain conjurers share both the secrets of their practice and stories from growing up in the Appalachian Mountains, the second oldest mountain range on Earth. Oh, this part's cool. The first 100 people to attend their presentation will take a little magic home, a spell kit of their own. So they're giving a little gift away.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it. If nothing else, show up to see what Ashley's wearing.
There you go.
Just gonna put that out there. But yeah, no, they're fantastic people. I've had them on the show. I've known them for years, all three of them. And they're a lot of fun.
Well,
Okay,
and I was going to say too, like if anybody wanted to go back and watch something, Joanna was the last one that helped interview them. And that was the first time I had seen them. And I think I had actually gone back and watched another one of the old ones because what they were talking about was so interesting.
They are.
At that one.
Of course, Pat's always been practically an encyclopedia of all things magic and history. I met her like 2008.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Because that's probably 2008, 2009, around in there. Because I had really just started podcasting, and that's about what time I started. Before I ever came to Scarefest.
And they always have a table, don't they? That's pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know about always, but yeah, they generally they do. And
okay.
Yeah. So 3 Appalachian Witches. Now, at 3:30 p.m., one of my favorite people in the entire world, Stephanie Bingham, will be bringing us When We Feared Vampires, Historic Vampires, and Modern Paranormal Occurrences.
She will explore the New England vampire panic and other reports of vampires in America, as well as the modern paranormal reports associated with them today.
And the important thing is, beautiful lady, but the smartest person in the room. She's incredible. Incredible. So,
and you've interviewed her several times as well.
Oh, I have her on the show at least once a year.
Yeah, so someone could... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'd have her on more if she'd come. But I'm sure she gets tired of me slobbering all over her. But anyway, she's very always interesting to talk to. And I have yet to find a topic that, other than sweatpants, she knows about everything. Yeah, she knows nothing.
Yeah, she is a really classy lady. I've seen her. Yeah, dresses really nice.
And now 4:30 p.m. also from the show, we've had them on. Erie Travels, Erica Lance, Mark Muncy. Erie Travels, Unnatural Kentucky.
Join the team behind the hit Erie Travels podcast and book series as they take you on a virtual tour of the cryptids, UFO, and paranormal encounters of the Bluegrass State. From the famous events like Hopkinsville and cryptids like the Poplick Monster. Did I say that right? The Poplick Monster?
Yeah, Poplick Monster.
To the dark, lesser-known monsters and legends from the deepest hollers.
And they're from Florida, and they know more about Kentucky than me. It's kind of depressing when I talk. No, they're great and a lot of fun to talk to. But that'll be going on at 4:30. Okay, then at 5:30, Dr. Christina Kiefer and William Willard. I didn't even know his last name until I signed up this year. He goes by Will Amber or something. Anyway. Exploring UFO aircraft and alien species.
For centuries, humans have made reports of close encounters with extraterrestrials. Say that 5 times fast.
Say it right once and we'll go for that.
Go ahead. ETs.
Yeah.
Here we explore the different species that have been reported and the various UFO spacecraft. We will investigate the differences found between them and possible reasons for contact.
Possible reasons for contact. I still think we're like the Stuckies of the universe. I think
they don't want us.
They pull over, take a piss, maybe grab a hamburger, on the road. Yeah,
I think they're afraid of us.
We're the parking lot behind the gas station. And they're the ones that they go like behind the dumpster to do their business. Anyway, it is now time. We're going to take our commercial break, and then we're going to come back and give you those 5, count them 5, actual guest announcements.
Hey, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Dean. We're the owners of Wicked World Scaregrounds. We have grown to become one of Kentucky's premier haunted attractions.
We've built this beast from the ground up, and now we need monsters to fill it.
We're looking to hire 100 actors and staff for this upcoming season.
We've done our best over the years to keep innovating and improving our layout, design, and customer experience.
We have 3 distinct haunted attractions, all offering a unique experience.
It takes a lot of people to run this show, and we want you.
Whether you're a Halloween enthusiast just looking for a new haunt to call home,
or someone who's looking for a fun, new, and exciting experience, we're the place for you.
Probably my favorite thing about working here is that it's very inclusive and you feel like it's one big family.
It's just easy to get out of your own space, come here and you get into a new space that is just more welcoming place for you to be yourself.
Just overall, the creative freedom we get, and it's so fun to create characters the way they allow us to. It's awesome to get to make cool stuff with your friends and just be spooky. It's really great.
I can just be myself. I can be quirky, and I don't get awkward stares, and people just enjoy it.
So if you enjoy Halloween, acting, and all things spooky,
and head on over to tooscary.com and click on the link jobs, and let us know if you're ready to get wicked.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Roomorg magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subasati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Roomorg, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
We're going to kick off tonight's guest announcements with Philip Adrian Booth and Christopher St. Booth. Now, okay, so they've been at Scarefest pretty much every year, but this year's kind of special for them. Okay, here's what happened. Here's the story behind it. They used to do scores for porn movies. And I believe the band, they called themselves Who's Who. Probably get sued over that too. But anyway, they did music for porn movies when they were getting started in the industry. And one of their songs, called Ulterior Motives, recently somehow ended up on TikTok and used in the background music and became this viral sensation. And they spent all year trying to figure out who they are, who made this song, Well, then they found out. So Rolling Stone, they got an article in Rolling Stone, and everybody, if you can get hold of the Rolling Stone copy, not only just to get it signed by them, it has this picture of them two young boys. Oh my God! They're actually identical twins. I can tell them apart in real life. Back then, well, but anyway, back in the youngin' days, they were young, no facial hair. None. So, yeah, but the Booth Brothers are coming to Scarefest 2016. Why do I keep saying that? 2024. Number 16. Hey, everybody, you've been asking for him in the fan group, and occasionally we listen. Somebody brought that up today. How do you all picture this? Guess what? We actually do check. John Philbin, Children of the Corn, The Return of the Living Dead, and a whole slew of other things that appeal to us. Although if I get it on the list to get past him, I want to hear about Ghost Babe and Bikini and such. Those names like that, movie names like that, just kind of catch my eye. But John Philbin is coming this year. Also, from Children of the Corn, Mr. John Franklin. John Franklin, of course, also from Addams Family Values, the Addams Family. Isaac's Return, Children of the Corn, 666. Children of the Corn, we're getting a nice little get-together there. Now, for our paranormal teams, Rob Thompson. Now, Rob Thompson is a spirit medium from the Ghost Finders. Now, the Ghost Finders is not on your network television. It's one of the few that have caught some traction on the streaming market. But Rob Thompson, Ghost Chasers is the show. It's been streaming for years, actually. I knew him back at, they were doing YouTube and they jumped over to Biddy Space, and now I think they're on one of the streaming networks on Roku. But Rob Thompson, and now I want to give, they're not on sale yet, but because he's coming and he wanted us to do this, and that's where everything kind of fell together at one time, he is a great amount of the reason we are going to do a public ghost hunt this year. He will be one of the hosts of it, one of the hosts of the ghost hunt. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the name before she does, because she'll do it on live. Adrian would have told you. Dave Schrader will be the co-host on that. Rob Thompson and Dave Schrader will be hosting our ghost hunt. That will be on Friday night. We'll get you the details hopefully next week, and tickets hopefully will be on sale next weekend. That's the plan. And coming back to Scarefest, our master of ceremonies on the cosplay side, character actor, I think that's what he likes being called. He doesn't like being called a cosplayer. He has some other title. But Wicked Beard. Although, Brandon, if you listen to the show, find a more, that picture's from like 1983. He's like me. He's aged a little bit. But that young, fresh space boy on that banner, Wicked Beard, the master of costumes is what we're calling him. He will be at Scarefest again this year. Now, to buzz on through the announcement, Scarefest Horror Film Festival is still taking, got about another month and a half. Get your films in if you are wanting to enter the Scarefest Horror Film Festival. Now, after we get them all judged, everybody, there will be an episode devoted to the little preview clips that we get from the film festival. But we have not settled that yet, but we do have some great entries. We're up to 70 some last time I checked, and we'll whittle that down to about 20 entries for the weekend. But the Scarefest Horror Film Festival is taking interest. Next weekend, I will be running in a 5K. That's just, I want to thank my sponsor, Mystic Luna, for getting me in that. It celebrates the life and legacy of Captain Alan Pierre Elliott. It's at the Coldstream Park in Lexington. But yes, a year ago I had a heart attack. A year and a half ago I had a heart attack. And just to be a dick about it, now I run 5Ks to show you that if I can do it, anybody can. And if you want to hear about my trials and tribulations, hey, this part I got 52 subscribers on my Patreon project. I am now doing my cosplay, my Sleepaway Camp cosplay, wearing the authentic outfit. Although my shoes are white. But yes, bare midriff and everything. And now if I can get that 52 number up to 100, I will do that cosplay with a temporary tramp stamp. If you would like more information, go to patreon.com/ScarefestRadio or go to scarefestradio.com. Click the link. $1 a month starts. Patreon subscriptions start at $1 a month, 25 cents a week. And we're adding a lot of new content. So there's a lot of stuff beyond just listening to me complain about how much I hate treadmills. Now we're actually adding content. We're adding podcasts. We're adding video casts. There's going to be a lot coming up in the fall and winter. So if you want to go ahead and get ahead of that, I would appreciate it. The Central Kentucky Mystical Market is this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday. Go to the Scarefest Weekend website, scarefestweekend.com, and there's a link there for the Central Kentucky Mystical Market to find out more about it. It's at the Clarion Hotel on Newtown Pike, right as you jump off the interstate. We'll be there all weekend. And finally, I want to mention the Enchanted Forest Ball, which happens tomorrow night. The Enchanted Forest Ball, presented by Mystic Luna. A magical evening filled with enchantment and wonder, and the event will take place at the Clarion Hotel Conference Center North. The ballroom will be transformed into a mystical forest setting. Get ready to dance the night away under twinkling lights and surrounded by lush greenery. Dress in your most whimsical attire and prepare to be transported to a fairy tale realm. Don't miss out on this unforgettable night of fantasy and fun. Adults only event. There is a bar. No one under the age of 21 will be admitted. Alcohol, cash bar, Clarion Hotel. And I tried on my dress pants today and found my dancing shoes. I found my actual Capizio dancing shoes. So I am ready. So that's tomorrow night. MysticLunaEvents.com. Or just look at my Facebook. That's what I do. Okay. Now, Back to the speakers, everybody. I hope you like this celebrity. That's what we're doing. We're going to get back to the announcements at 6 p.m. on Saturday in meeting room 9. This is in the new meeting room. Attachments, Haunted Places versus Haunted People by Charlie Romans.
Comparing haunted locations and individuals that attract paranormal activity using witness accounts from the podcast Shadows of Legend.
And people Google the podcast. Actually, it's shadows-of-legend.com. You want to Google it. You can actually type it in if you want. But great podcast. He's a very interesting man to speak to. Interesting man to listen to. The podcast, and he goes in. He doesn't. I don't think he talks as much as I do. He actually brings people on to tell their stories, and he's very good at that. And he doesn't roll his eyes sometimes like I do. But yeah, Charlie Romans. Catch him at 6 p.m. Now, at 6:30 p.m., back in room 2, Murderabilia. Husband and wife team, Chad and Chelsea Shepherd of Offbeat Horror and Vet City Con. That's where I know him from, Vet City Con.
Oh, you met him out there? Okay.
Yeah.
Husband and wife team show and tell their experience collecting murderabilia, or the buying and selling of true crime related artifacts.
So they're actually bringing in some of their collection, and I think they'll probably have some items for sale. But yeah, they actually bring in items that they collected, and
very cool.
Give you the story behind it and let you see and touch maybe actual stuff like that. So that is our last meeting that we have scheduled for Saturday. And we're going to kick off Sunday at 11:30 a.m. in the Hangover Zone, because the VIP party is Saturday night. 11:30 a.m. meeting room 2, Exploring the Paranormal with Glider. Adam Bonnet, Exploring the Paranormal with Glider.
All right, so Adam Bonnet is a paranormal investigator, not just any paranormal investigator. What makes him different? He's in a wheelchair. His condition didn't slow him down. It just forced him to develop creative alternatives. Throughout his life, he never let anything stop him or prevent him from achieving his goals. Often considered a quote-unquote rolling trigger object, he uses his unique position to his advantage when investigating. He created and copyrighted a wheelchair-bound ghost named Glider, who represents him and others with disabilities. Glider is a symbol that there are no limitations to those who truly believe. He hopes to continue raising awareness and showing the world that anything is possible.
And if you want to go back, everybody, just a month or two ago, had him on the show. If you want to hear what Adam has to say, be a paranormal investigator, hell of a nice guy. And I'm going to throw in a quick answer to the chat room. We do not have any idea on showing movies at the theater across the street. And the reason for that is, depending on the theater, they charge us between $500 and $700. So yes, we did it one year, but there's a chance we won't do it this year because it's a lot of money. So just so you know, and yeah, so it's up in the air. Now, on to the show. At 12:30 p.m., One of Us, Kentucky's Horror Icons, brought to you by Eric Brooks.
Though not normally considered a hotbed of the film and TV industry, Kentucky has produced or nurtured some true legends of the horror genre. This presentation will shed light on these luminaries, their careers, and the influence of the bluegrass had on them.
The Walking Dead was birthed right here in my hometown.
That is so cool.
We have a mural and everything.
I only just found that out not that long ago, and I actually did watch the TV show. I just didn't pay attention to where it was, but when I found out, it was
see, the TV show wouldn't let you know. You'd have to read the comic book.
Yeah, because in the TV show, didn't they say, "Oh, this is Georgia or Alabama"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Kentucky was too redneck.
Okay.
But no, the comic book was set in our hometown, and that's where the story started. Now, where they traveled, I never read the comic book, but make it into a movie. and now they're in Georgia. And the women are, I mean, there's a lot of women in Georgia. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. And Eric will be speaking at 12:30 p.m. At 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, The Haunting Impact of Paranormal Tourism on Local Communities by Katie Jo Lessing.
When we think about tourism, we may think about sporting events, business and medical conferences, and work retreats. However, a new trend of dark tourism has brought forth a new emergence of tourists to communities. When we think of haunted cities, we often think about New Orleans, Savannah, or Gettysburg. What we don't think about is Louisville, Chicago, or smaller prohibition cities who typically only advertise their dark pasts around Halloween. This panel will give attendees an opportunity to think about their haunted hometowns and how to highlight the rich histories of Kentucky and Indiana through paranormal and dark storytelling.
See, now that's another, okay, once again, my hometown embraces its haunted past. We have one of the most popular ghost walks in Kentucky. Starts in sometime in September, I guess, most of September, I think, and runs through October. And I'm Cynthiana, Kentucky. Ross Opera House. Look it up online. But yeah, to make a little conversation here, that has been our problem, having a ghost hunt for Scarefest. Lexington does not embrace its haunted past.
Okay.
And so it's their places don't want to talk about their ghost or their ghost stories or their legends or whatever. The place we found does. Now, so that's fine.
Awesome.
But yeah, that it really surprises me how many places. It's like when I talked to I think it was the Visit Lex. I told him, I said, we don't really need haunted places. We need places with history.
Yeah, people want to know about. People want to know about that.
But yeah, we've finally got some traction this year, and hoping that we have a great venue and a great relationship with the venue, so that we can make this a regular event. Now, at 2:30 p.m., Ghostly Tales Along the Ohio River with Gavin and Paula Kelly.
Paula will share her new book, Ghostly Tales Along the Ohio River, reading some of the stories from her book, doing a Q&A, and showing evidence from her investigations while writing the book. I just want to interject and say, I read this book. I thought there was some really cool information in there, especially if you're someone who is interested in ghost hunting. Reading her book could help you decide which places you may want to add to your list to check out. So there's that.
And of course, the paranormal contingent at Scarefest knows Gavin and Paula. They've been coming for years, and regular speakers. I need to teach them to fill out paperwork though, because they didn't make it. And I'm not being making fun of them. They didn't make it clear who would be speaking, and it's like, okay, we contacted Paula and said, okay, Paula, you're approved, and Gavin goes, well, what about me? I'm on that. And you're doing it together. We didn't know. I'm just saying, they need to streamline that. Okay, 3:30 p.m. our last presentation of the weekend. Haunted Route 66 by Tanya McCoy.
She will be speaking about the history of Route 66, as well as some of its mysteries, murders, and hauntings along the famous route. From ghostly apparitions, cryptids, UFO sightings, and unsolved mysteries, this haunted highway plays host to World of the Paranormal.
And okay, I don't know her.
She's
it
new,
sounded interesting.
Okay. Yes, it does sound interesting.
So yeah, and we needed we like those weird topics, and apparently she does this quite a bit. I did friend her on Facebook, and seemed like a lovely and engaging woman. So Tanya McCoy, that will be the speaker list for the weekend. Now that's not saying we won't add some other things that would fit into room 9, but that is what you can look forward to, and I hope that you do join us. I do want to, well, let's see what. Let's do our commercial break when we come back. I'm going to mention about the year we did the movies over at SF.
Trick or Treat Studios is a Scarefest weekend sponsoring vendor. Trick or Treat Studios is the one-stop shop for high-quality Halloween and horror. Shop masks, costumes, figures, collectibles, games, and more from your favorite movies. Find Trick or Treat Studios online at trickortreatstudios.com.
Joel Robinson Art is a Scarefest weekend sponsoring vendor. Joel Robinson has been the official Scarefest weekend artist since its beginning in 2008. Joel is a movie cover artist and a Universal Monsters artist. Visit Joel for posters, canvases, t-shirts, purses, and backpacks. Visit Joel's Etsy page at joelrobinsonart.com.
Hey, Scarefest, this is Joe Lewis, a Bonehead Weekly with the, what's it called? The Conditioned Look. And so I went to the theater and saw something again, which is awesome. Now, if you're a big fan of Ty West, there's a couple of movies of his I really like. I really enjoy House of the Devil, The Innkeepers, The Sacrament, and he's made a new trilogy, X, Pearl, and now Maxine, and I'm reviewing Maxine. I didn't care that much for X, and a lot of you love it. I thought it was kind of a cliched movie. Mia Goth is a fantastic actress, and Pearl, I liked. I love the aesthetic of it. I enjoyed the prequel part of it, even though you know where it's happening, what's going to happen. So when they said they were going to do a sequel, so that would be a prequel, and then X, and then Maxine, I was kind of excited. And then it was going to take place in the early 80s, mid 80s, and that's great. They got a fantastic cast together to do it. There's a ton of people in this movie. And the movie follows Maxine, and she's now in the porn industry, and she's the one that gets away at the end of X. Spoiler alert if you hadn't seen it. And she wants to become a mainstream actress. And for some odd reason, people are killing people around her, and we don't know why. I like 2/3 of this movie. One of the biggest criticisms from a lot of people I see who are friends of mine, some of them in the industry on social media and whatnot, is that they don't get the gritty part of the 80s down in this. That's an accurate criticism, but it's not what bothered me. For example, it bothered me in Joker because they got everything else right in Joker, except they really didn't get the grittiness of 70s New York, like Mean Streets and a couple of movies like that. They just didn't get it. They're close, but not so far. True here, but this movie is much more not set in kind of reality. My problem with this is something you're going to hear me say a lot. Kevin Bacon's great as the slimy private investigator. Mia Goth is fantastic in it. Gives another great performance as Maxine. The only issue I had, oh my God, it's the last 20 minutes, the explanation. The whole time it's building to something. Music's really good. I mean, it's uneven. Some of it doesn't make a lot of sense. I can forgive most of that, but the payoff of who's chasing her, why. It's a movie, I liked a lot of it. Love the music, love some of the performances, love some of the scenes. But it's really hard for me to tell you to break your neck and go out and see it in the theater because the last 20 or 30 minutes of it, not there. I mean, I've wrestled with this quite a bit, but the payoff of who the killer is, and I know I get criticisms all the time. Joe's complaining about the third act again, but it really is not great. There's a lot more they could have done with this character, especially to tie up her story. And to me, it's just kind of a cop-out. So, should you see Maxine? It's not a bad movie. There's lots of scenes. Oh my God, I forgot about Elizabeth Debicki, who's also in this. She's in The Crown as Princess Diana. Like I said, a murderer's row of a cast. Fantastic. Kevin Bacon looks like he's having a blast. I'd have had a blast on this set. And I love spotting all the music and spotting all the posters and fake trailers and things like that throughout it. But So should you see it? Up to you. If you enjoyed X and you enjoyed Pearl, then of course you should see this. It's a continuation of that, and then once again sets it in a different decade. And it's not a terrible movie. It's just that last 20 minutes. And if you love it, feel free to reach out to me and tell me what's wrong with me. But I had a hard time with it. So should you see Maxine? If you like the other two, then yes. If you love just 80s, then you'll like 60-70% of it. I like 60-70% of the movie. So it's not awful, but it's really hard for me to recommend to go get a babysitter and go out for the night. You know what I mean? This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly reviewing Maxine.
Welcome back to the final few moments of Scarefest TV. I did want to go ahead and expand a little bit on the person in the chat room where they asked about showing movies over at Lex Live. We did that 2-3 years ago. The reason, you got to remember, yes, we showed movies there and we had celebrities show up to do Q&As with them. That was when we didn't have the panel rooms in the new convention center. In other words, we didn't have panels. We had some seminars that people hated because it was crowded over in the corner of the convention center floor. The point is, it's really, logistically, we don't need it now because we've got an entire day being scheduled of nothing but celebrity panels in a nice big room, larger than last year. But the other part of that equation is celebrities, once they're off the clock, once that 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock rolls around at the end of the day, they love you, but they'd rather just sit and have a drink. So
that's fair.
I hate to be blunt, but yeah, it's logistically not easy. I'll put it that way. And like I said, and they don't do it for free. Any movie that we want shown that's not on their regular calendar, they charge us. And if we don't feel like it's adding value to Scarefest overly, it makes it hard. So, just wanted to throw that in there to expand on that a little bit now that I saw that I had time. And everybody, we will be back next week with another episode of Scarefest TV. Thank you, Barb.
Thank you, Wes, for having me.